guys, it's Adrian. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm here to bring you my quarterly reading challenge number 3. If you're new to my channel, first of all, welcome. Hi, I'm Adrian. Second of all, I do these once every 3 months because they kind of help me read outside of my normal fantasy genre. I start off these quarterly reading challenges by checking in with my last quarterly reading challenge. So let's do that. I set myself 3 goals. The first one was to read science fiction books. The second one was to read a big book. And the third one was to read one of the 3 books that I picked from my quarterly reading challenge jar. So I will check in with each of those. I have to go through these pretty quickly because I'm running out of daylight. But I did really well on all these challenges this year. I am very proud of myself. Let's talk about the science fiction books first. I read 4 science fiction books in the past 3 months. That's pretty good. The first one I read was All Are Wrong Todays by Elan Mastai. I'm not going to talk about any of these books, by the way. I will leave all the wrap-ups down in the description box below where I talk all about them so you can find out more information. But that one was really great. I gave that one 4 stars. Next up, I read Obsidio by Amie Kaufman and Kristoff. I do own this book, but a friend of mine is borrowing it. I read that one and I gave that one 4 stars as well. That one was also really fantastic. Next up on audio, I listened to Sleeping Giants by Sylvain Neuvel. That one was really good. I gave that one 4 stars. And lastly, I read Pines by Blake Crouch. This one only got 3 stars from me. I wasn't a huge fan. It didn't compare to Dark Matter. I could rant on about this book for hours. I did enjoy it. It just didn't do well comparatively. Again, for more information, I'll leave my April, May, and June wrap-ups down in the description box below so you can hear all about my thoughts on these books. The next challenge was to read big books, and I only set myself the goal to read 1 because I didn't think I was going to be able to do it, and I read 3. I'm so excited. There are 2 big books on this list that I've been on my TBR for forever, so I'm very excited. First one was Heir by Maas. This is the 3rd book in the Throne of Glass series. I gave this one a 4.25. I'm very excited. I like this one. It did a lot better in my mind than Crown of Midnight. Next up, I read Beautiful Creatures by Garcia and Margeret Stohl. I gave this one a 3 stars. I thought this book objectively was pretty good. I gave it a 3 stars. I personally didn't like it. It's about casters and it was a little too dark for me. I'm not a huge casters / witches fan except for Harry Potter, but it's not my kind of book. Nothing wrong with the book. I just didn't like it for me personally. Next up is a book that I am so excited that I finished. I've had this book on my TBR for a 1.5 years and I've been so afraid to read it, but it was totally worth it. That was The Black Prism by Brent. I gave this book a 3.75 stars. I had some issues with it. It's in a book review that's coming up in a couple days, but it was so good. And lastly was to read one of 3 books that I chose from my TBR jar, and I only read 1, and that was Heir. Killed 2 birds with 1 stone with this book. Very exciting. Again, I really liked it. Now let's move on to the challenges that I'm setting myself for July, August, and September. First up is to read at least 1 classic. Ideally, I would like to read 2, but I have a hard time getting through classics, so I'm only setting myself up to just read 1. The second goal for myself for the next quarter is to read at least 2 borrowed books. It could either be borrowed from a friend or borrowed from the library, but I'm trying to slow myself down from buying books. This does not include books that I listen to on audiobook for my audiobook subscription because it just doesn't count. And lastly is to read a book from my quarterly reading challenge jar, which is actually a cup up here, so I'm going to pick out 3. First up is Stealing Snow by Danielle Page, and that one is here. I don't know if I'm going to read this one though, guys. It's summertime. I'm trying not to think about snow. Next up is the one that was just on my last Top 5 Wednesday video, and that's Elantris by Brent Sanderson. And lastly, we have Queen of Shadows by Sarah J. Maas. Again, another one that I really need to get to. So I have to read one of these 3 books. This is going to be a little harder than I thought because these two are really big and this one has to do with snow, but we'll see. I've got at least about 3 months. I can at least read one of these. That's it for this quarter's reading challenge. As usual, I encourage you guys to do these as well. Either you can do my challenges or you can set your own, but they really help to make me read outside my box. They've worked really well for me so far, and I have read a whole bunch of different genres that I otherwise wouldn't have, and found some that I really love. If you enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up. If you have not yet, I'd love for you to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and see you next time. Bye.